Good morning, everybody. I want to extend my appreciation to the George Washington University, the Elliott School of International Affairs, and Jennifer Cook, the Director of the Institute for African Studies, for inviting me to give this address today. As a top research university in the nation's capital, the George Washington University is educating the next generation of American leaders. It is therefore a great pleasure and honor to me and to my delegation to speak to you all about Somaliland and the future of our region, Horn of Africa. I'm also happy to be speaking today, and my delegation is here today, a university named after the great leader of America's effort to gain independence and international recognition from the international community. Somaliland today also enjoys independence, but continues to work towards recognition that was vital in America's success as a young nation. Somaliland is located in the Horn of Africa. Somaliland is a former British colony, protectorate, with its international borders. Somaliland gained its independence on 26 June 1960, and after 5 days voluntarily made a union with Somalia, which was Italian colony. Somaliland's population is 4.5 million. Area of Somaliland is 167,200 square kilometers. 167,200 kilometers. Type of governance: Democratic Republic of Somaliland, multi-political party, presidential, 2 chambers of parliamentary system, House of Representatives and the House of Lords, or what we call the House of Elders. 6 elections, freely contested with 1 man and 1 vote. Fulfills all the requirements of a sovereign state, but unluckily, till today, not recognized by the international community. Somaliland is a peaceful country. For the last 33 years, there were only 2 events of extremist attacks in Somaliland. One was in 2008. It was an explosion in 2 offices in Hargeisa. The other one, it was 2004, with the attack in a secondary school, and they killed 2 teachers of UK citizens. We were very sorry about it. Stable. We are the guardians of the Red Coast from the extremists. As you know, in the Horn of Africa, there are a lot of extremist activities, Al-Shabaab, ICS, and others. We have a coast 740 kilometers, 840 kilometers. For the last 33 years, no piracy in our coasts, on our sea. No Al-Shabaab activities. It was very safe. And our people and our armed forces and security departments, with meager budgets, we have succeeded to make the Red Sea of Somaliland especially Gulf of Aden, to be secure for the last 33 years. And that security is for all the world. Our neighbors first, Ethiopia, Djibouti, the hinterland African countries like Uganda, Kenya, and all the way to America and to Europe. We save our part of the world. Somaliland achieved for the last 33 years to rebuild its cities and its institutions of the government. I think you cannot imagine what we have experienced. Our government, the army, we paid with our taxpayers' money. The aircrafts, jet fighters, the artillery, and the tanks bombarded all our cities in 1988. The capital was really at zero, the same as second capital, Morocco, and most of our cities were really to zero. Then we liberated our country without any government institutions, no police station, no jails, no security apparatus, no hospitals. So we started from zero ground. But after 33 years, we have built all our cities. Most of them are booming today, and we have succeeded to rebuild all the departments of a government, not only governance, good governance, democratic, with 6 elections for the last 22 years, without any help from any government. We have small assistance from the NGOs. So, we rebuilt educational departments, and today we have built over 1,000 schools in all regions. And in every region, 6 regions, every region built a university. We built healthcare, health departments, over 400 healthcare centers, hospitals, MCH, clinics, and referral hospitals in the capital and in the capitals of the main regions. Somaliland is proud of that. It's a liberal free market, absolutely free market of economy. 90% of our GDP is in the hands of the business people, the market. GDP of Somaliland is 3 billion in the year 2021. International trade, 1.6 billion in the year 2020. International investors. DB Well has built Berbera Port for the first phase, $400 million US. And now this year they will start the second phase of $600 million US. ADDF, Coca-Cola, General Energy, CBS of Taiwan, which is exploring an oil in our country. Our public finance public services from domestic taxes, only for our domestic taxes. No budget support from wherever. No budget efficient. No external debt. We are safe of debt. We have built with all our institutions, hospitals, schools, infrastructure, with only our home domestic taxes. International relations. We have representatives in 28 countries all over the world. Consulates in Hargeisa are from Kenya, from Djibouti, Ethiopia, United Arab Emirates, Turkey, Taiwan, and offices from Denmark and UK. Why our delegation came here? What we are expecting from the United States and their people. As our delegation, our main goal was to explain to the people of the United States, as much as we can reach, their intellectuals, their politicians, and their leaders about the case of Somaliland. Our main goal is to get a recognition from the international community and to convince intellectuals, leaders, and politicians in our case. Because for the last 32 years, we were internally building the country. So we must first clean our house, to build our internal institutions. So everybody whom we are talking with to be convinced that there is a government and institutions who are working efficiently. So now we have the chance to explain our case well. So that's why we came to this visit. Sure, we are aware of that. We cannot gain a recognition in one delegation or a few days. We know it's a long path to go, but we believe that every long journey starts from one step. So we have now explaining to the United States administration when we met them, since we are starting to explain our case and our goal is recognition, we need now to start an engagement in many fields. Engagement and to work, to cooperate. Our country locates a very strategical position in the world. The Red Sea, our border, the furthest western border, the historical town of Zaira is only 70 kilometers from the Bab-el-Mandeb. I think over 35% of world trade goes through Red Sea. Most of the extremists, Shabab and others, are in our neighbors, in the Horn of Africa. So we kept here to have an engagement with the United States administration for the safety of their country and for the safety of the world trade. Besides our this delegation, there was another delegation with us. It was all businessmen. We were trying, since we have been isolated from the world financial institutions, that our businessmen and business people to have a waiver to cooperate with the international monetary fund institutions like the World Bank, IMF, and others, because we have the right that since we have enough resource in our country, that we can build our country and build our future, the international monetary systems to accept, to cooperate our financial institutions. Otherwise, we have enough resource, but since they cannot communicate with the simple because of political system, we should separate the political system from the economical system. Otherwise, Somaliland will be like a surrendered people.
Why? So that's what we were explaining for the last week. All the financial institutions, international institutions, and here are our advisors. Likely most of Dr. Islam was about 35 years or more before. Yes, he was a staff of the senior staff of the World Bank. So we're explaining them why. U.S. collaborations, security and intelligence collaboration. We propose to them Coast Guard training, our Coast Guard training, investment in natural resources, minerals and oil, contribution to the development of Berbera and the Somaliland corridor. The United Arab Emirates have built our port to extend it, and they have built a corridor between Somaliland and Ethiopia. But there are many countries in the region which are landlocked. And we are expecting that our ports, not only Berbera, our ports, will make service for all these countries. Uganda, Central Africa, Ethiopia, and etc. Southern Sudan. So since we are thinking, and our vision is that our ports will serve the whole African landlocked countries and beyond. We're proposing the administration period. How can we cooperate in developing the trade, international trade, and in between the regions of Africa to develop the people and to make it broad for the youth? We are aware of that. More than 78% of the youth in the whole of Africa are unemployed. So we need a development to make employment for the future of our people. And that needs resource. And Somaliland has that resource. But the international monetary departments must accept to cooperate with us. Otherwise, we will be a people who are isolated and just cannot make any development. And that our youth will go the other way. So the extremists, they will be refusal to everything. So our vision is to make a huge progress to our development. Elections and democracy. In our country, we have our people voting for Democratic Republic of Somaliland, 97% of our population, 97%, almost 100%. And still they believe it. But to us, since we are now a country rebuilding from zero our government, we have a huge problem with the democracy charts. First, in 5 years, we have every 5 years, 3 elections. This year, the president, next year, the parliament, next year, the local government. The expenses of these elections is very huge to us. Second, that this year, it's a presidential election, and there is a campaign, and there will be a conflict between the parties, between the class of the society, between the regions. Then the election will go on. For next year, we are going to make peacemaking between reconciliation, between conflicts of the effects of the election. Third year, there's a parliamentary, the state, lots of experts, then campaign, then peacemaking, conflict resolutions after that. Third year, the local governments. So, we want to build our institutions' capacity, political parties, the election committees, the people, And our youth were unemployed. They were expecting every year, election after election, to get employment, to get a progress, to build industry so that they can work for. So they're asking me as a president and every politician, well, election, what's after election? So we came here to have a capacity building of the experience of this country and others of democracy to help us how democracy will survive in Africa and developing countries. What's new to it? We were expecting cooperation in that field. We are proposing there that this administration or United States government should open a consulate in Hargeisa. Why? In the summertime, nearly 20,000 American citizens go their holidays, their children and families to Somalia. So they need consulate services. They need unserviced consulate. They should take an airport, ticket, airline, go to Nairobi, Kenya, or to Ethiopia, a lot of expenses and time consuming. So first, that consulate will serve the citizens of American citizens, and it will be a good channel that they can work with Somaliland government and people. So that is our purpose. Since there are more than 15 countries have offices in Somaliland. The US aid will go through USA office and others. It goes through Mogadishu because the United Nations have, when we ask them, since it's a humanitarian assistance, why don't you give to Somaliland directly? Go to some COVID-19. The first year, it was very serious all over the world. So the United States and the United Nations, the government, and also the United Nations, the WHO, they sent a number of vaccinations to Somalia. And that went to Mogadishu, Somalia. But with mismanagement and inefficiency of that government in Mogadishu, the COVID-19 vaccination was in their hands, especially the airport, until it became outdated. They didn't reach us, Somalia. It was in the airports of Mogadishu until it outdated. So we don't get any vaccine from the WHO and the United States assistance of the COVID-19. So we are proposing all humanitarian assistance to our country must be directed to the people who we are targeted to give them, not the government. All in all, let me remind you, with the cooperation of our American citizens and Somaliland citizens, they have built a school near our capital, Hargeisa, 20 kilometers west of Hargeisa. That school was very successful for the last 10 or 12 years. Now there are 200 students from grade 7 to 12. And 50% of them are girls. Those who have been graduated are all in the universities of American universities. Every state has students from abroad. That was a very good example. If we cooperate with the American citizens in every field, hospital,